Is going on, everybody, and welcome to the third Tuesday of us doing Best Puck. We're in the lobby. We need 5 more to go, which is a little bit nice. Last time we came on the air as the draft was starting. We have a little bit of buffer here. A test for my internet here tonight is currently thunderstorming. My dogs don't like thunderstorms, so if they freak out, that's why. But we'll see if my internet holds up through that. Joining me as always, Cliffy. He went out for the weekend for the first time in a while. Got sick, a little under the weather. I'm not going to dox where you went. I know where you went, but if you want to, you don't have to tell where you went.
No, it's not a big deal. I just went to Toronto for a wrestling show, but yeah, first vacation in a couple of years. Those things happen, I guess, but got to catch up on a bunch of news yesterday. Not too much in the way of injury news just yet, which is a good thing. Up here in Canada, they have a series called Rebuild, and it's the second season. They've been following the Montreal Canadiens rebuild. And the last episode was the episode with the preseason game where Laine and Reinbacher both got hurt. I was just like,
that was a tough time.
Yeah, I was just like, man, that's setting up some bad vibes. Let's just hope we don't have that happen. But I haven't seen anything too bad. Of course, we got word. Things are still a little uncertain with Matt Tkachuk. And look, I mean, at least December. First reports from ESPN were that he's going to be out until January, so he might miss half the season. Latest report on Zach Hyman was early November. We mentioned on the last show, through the first 4 weeks of the season, Edmonton is tied for the second most games played in the league with 15. So if he comes back a week into November, he's going to miss at least 15 games. So that's something to keep in mind. But, you know, there's guys day to day and guys taking practices off and stuff like that, but that's kind of to be expected. So no major injuries that I've seen anyway so far. So, you know, kind of knock on wood. Let's hope we can keep that streak going right to the regular season.
Yeah, I saw the Hyman news, and Knobloch, their coach, said that while Hyman is out, they're going to have a lot of McDavid and Draisaitl together, and Trent Frederick is going to get the first crack, it seems. I like Frederick. He was serviceable in the Bruins middle six, which is like a team full of middle sixers. So, like, I think he'll be okay there. You know, they'll get down in the game, and then all of a sudden it'll be like God knows who up there. Isaac Howard, a whole plethora of people.
Yeah, but, you know, I wrote about this at Dobber Hockey a couple weeks ago. If you think of the guys that have actually lasted like a full season next to Connor McDavid, they are like the forechecking, grinding types, right? Like recently it's been Zach Hyman, but you think back to Zach Kassian, you think back to Alex Chason, like, you know, those guys weren't really anything special, but they performed a function on that line, which was clear space for McDavid and get to the front of the net and create havoc. And Trent Frederick can do that. So I honestly think he stands a better chance than Jeff Skinner did last year. You know, they'll move Ryan Nugent-Hopkins up there at some point. Like, that's something that's just going to happen, but it stands a better chance than maybe even like Kasperi Kapanen and things like that. So, you know, I don't think Trent Frederick's going to have a monster season. Like, if he can put up 20 goals and 40 points, like, that'd be a pretty good year. But I do think he stands a better chance than most of sticking on that top line, just because of the type of player he is and the type of player that has typically lasted on McDavid's line more than a couple weeks or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Mike Colson got re-signed today, but I mean, he was there anyway. He was under contract. He didn't really play with McDavid at all. He was on a good second line last year with Arvidsson and Draisaitl, but Arvidsson's off to Boston. Drake Batherson got hurt today. There's not really an update. The coach is like, he pulled something. It could just be like a minor strain, or he could have like torn his ass. Like, we just don't know. So,
that sounds like a pretty brutal preseason injury. It's like, remember when was it Mark Street fractured like his it wasn't his pelvic bone. There's a pelvic platelet or something like that. It's just like Mark Street's got a broken penis.
Those core surgeries.
Yeah. there's a couple guys from Utah, like Logan Cooley was day to day, but like there hasn't been anything super serious yet. So that's good news.
Yeah. And then, since we are Habs and Rangers fans, the Rangers are at least Sullivan looks like he wants to move Lafreniere back to the left side, which he hasn't been on since he played on the kids line with Hedel. He's going to play with JT Miller. He's been practicing with JT Miller and Mika Zibanejad. Like Will Cooley was in that spot last year, and they were really, really good. Lafreniere's a similar player. Like he's more skilled offensively. So I think that like him moving just back to the left side, like basically what Sullivan was saying was like he kind of wants Will Cooley on the third line for the energy he brings and the defense and the checking. So I put out a tweet today. I'm kind of wondering what they're going to do with Panarin and Trocheck. I don't think they want Taylor Radish to be there. I think they're going to give one of the kids like Othman or Gabriel Perreault every chance to be that winger. And they want Radish on the third line with like Cooley and Parsinen if he makes the team, or Noah Laba if he makes the team. But like I think they're going to give one of those kids every opportunity to be in that top six.
Yeah, and I mean, they kind of need to. It's been a little while now that they've been really looking to fill out because they've had Panarin in the top six for years. That's been fine. Obviously, they had Kreider there for years. That was fine, but they were always missing that right side. Now you can move Zibanejad over. You have your left wingers because you have Panarin, you have Lafreniere, you have Cooley. Like you can fill out those spots. And I think you're right. Like they want to turn the keys over, get some more speed, get some more youth up with their skilled players. So I think a lot of teams are doing that. Like you're seeing that, like Jimmy Snuggerud in St. Louis is skating next to Robert Thomas. Brian Leonard, I think in Washington, I believe he was with Pierre-Luc Dubois and Alexei Protas. So like
Perreault's line mate in college.
There you go. So like, there is like a lot of kids being given opportunities to succeed. It's just a matter if they run with it. And, being on the second line in, day 6 of training camp is a lot different than being on the second line in the middle of January. But yeah, lots of interesting younger players to talk about. And our draft is about to kick off here. So I'll pull up the draft board.
You have the second pick. You were just saying you don't have it very often. I have the 9th pick. Of course, Frostback has the 8th pick right before me. I was going to send him a care package because he had a rough summer. But now if he snipes my guys, I'm not going to talk to him for a few days. But there are a lot of names I don't recognize, which is nice. I mean, not nice, but like that, it just means like these are filling more often. And hopefully this tournament will get close to filling because it's only like 39% full right now. And the season starts in 2 weeks. So got a lot of drafting to do.
Yeah, I mean, the season is just around the corner. For opening night is 2 weeks from tonight. Kind of a shorter preseason than we're used to. It's going to be even shorter next year. You do love to see it. I mean, I hate long preseasons, so it is what it is. All right.
Yeah. I have 55 teams. I see Tom in the chat. It's nice when you don't know the other 11. I'm pretty sure I'm in like 49 with Tom. So like it is nice.
Yeah.
Going Matthews over McDavid.
Yeah, I have McKinnon and Matthews 1-2 this year, McDavid 3. It's like they're really close. Like they're all in the same tier together. You can basically flip a coin between them, but I do have it McKinnon, Matthews, McDavid. I'm not the only thing that concerns me with Matthew, like losing Marner sucks. Obviously, you'd much rather him have Marner, at least for the regular season. But the only thing what worries me about Matthews is that he plays like 66 games, right? That he doesn't play 79 games or something like that. It's just his health I'm worried about. If he plays 80 games and he's healthy when he plays, like I still think he's going to hit 50 goals.
Oh yeah, he wasn't healthy last year and he still put up good numbers. So
yeah, so not super worried about it. Also got, I guess, good news about David Pastrnak. They said he has tendonitis, but he played through it all last year. He changed his offseason routine. I was worried about the tendonitis until they said that he played through it last year. And obviously he had a tremendous season last year on a horrific Boston team. So I'm not as concerned about his health as I was, 10 days ago.
Yeah. And he seems to like tendonitis. I don't know if Elias Pettersson has tendonitis or what's going on in his knees, but it seems Pasternak has been handling it much better than Elias Pettersson. I mean, like, Boston's just basically Pasternak, Charlie McAvoy, Jeremy Swayman, and third liners. Like, Geekie had a really good season last year for Morgan Geekie. Like, I don't think you can rely on him to have like a 70-point season.
No, like if he puts up a 25-goal season again, I think that'll be a pretty good year. But if he's stuck next to Pasternak at 5-on-5 and on the power play for basically the entire season, like Pasternak will will him to 25 goals. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think he's in a pretty good spot to succeed at least.
Yeah, and Matias Maccelli next to Matthews, who's, Matias Maccelli much better in Toronto than Marner will ever be, according to every single Leafs fan. He's going to have, according to Leafs fans, a 110-point season. So I don't know why we aren't drafting him. I did draft him actually a couple times because I forgot I had Matthews. And so I didn't have any other Leafs with him, so I took him in the last round. But that's par for the course with me. I'm just an idiot.
I do think the thing with drafting Toronto in these formats, like it's not that easy to make a stack, right? Because I think like Matthew Nyes is like kind of like fairly priced. I don't think he's a great value. I think John Tavares is a pretty good value. Morgan Riley, even if he has top power play minutes, I think the value is okay. It's not like great. It's not like I don't think it's a standout stack. You can do it, but I think you need Austin Matthews to do it, right? Like I'm not stacking the Toronto Maple Leafs if I don't have Austin Matthews. So I do think it's a tough stack to pull off.
You could do like Nylander, Tavares, Riley. It just doesn't feel great.
No.
And that's the same thing in DFS. Like it's wind the tape. If you go back to the shows last year, how many times we said can't stack Toronto without Matthews?
Yeah. And the run of wingers is going here, as we're seeing Connor, Marner, Forsberg, Nylander, Boldy. Sometimes I've been seeing Marner fall like towards the end of the second round, but I honestly still don't know what to make of him. It's like, how much better can he be than last year? You know what I mean?
Oh, let me tell you something. Next to a real center, gonna dominate.
Okay.
I don't know, like Eichel and Matthews. They're such a. I don't want to say like their games are identical because it's definitely not true, but like they both complement Marner's game very well. So
yeah, I agree with that.
As long as he stays there, because Vegas, their coach is notorious for being like, you know what, Ivan Barbashev, your time is now. And then like Marner's playing with like coleslaw salad on the fourth line. You know what I mean? So it's just like, hopefully he gets some good run there because, Stone could move back up. But the thing with Stone is like, he's going to play his 47 games and be effective when he does. But the other ones, like Marner's going to have to be up there. Cooley and Genther. Oh, I try to draft Cooley as much as possible. Or not Cooley, sorry, Genther as much as possible. I am very attracted to that man.
Yeah, we were actually talking about it before the show. I'm a little worried right now because they have Barrett Hayton on the top power play unit and not Logan Cooley, but I don't think that's something that's going to last.
They were actually better with Barrett Hayton, though.
Yeah, but
depends what stack
selfishly, yeah. But I think Logan Cooley and Macklin Celebrini, I think, are my two most drafted centers. Dylan Genther is like my fourth most drafted winger. So yeah, like we really do like them quite a bit. And And they are a stack you can pull off, right? Like you can get Keller in the 3rd round and Genther in the 4th. And then, you know, you can get Cooley in the 9th or 10th or whatever it is. You can get Sergachev around the same spot. Like there is a pretty solid Utah stack with good values that you can pull off. So there doesn't seem to be as much steam on Genther as I thought there might be. Like his ADP's definitely risen, but it's not gotten to the point where it's like you have to take him in the 3rd round or you're not getting him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen him go in the 30s before. I've seen Clayton Keller go in the 20s. But, you know, I think, like, if Genther is going to be with Cooley all season at 5-on-5, I kind of prefer Genther. Like, that's not a knock on Keller. I just would rather take the round of ADP to play with the better playmaking center at 5-on-5.
Yeah. Now we're getting to the interesting part, because I think this like winger 15 through like winger 35, I think is where it gets really interesting, because I do think there are a lot of really good values there. And it's one of those things that's like, if you know a guy is a 4th round value, but he's going into the 5th, like how long do you wait? Or if he's going in the 6th, like how long do you wait? It's always that game, and eventually you end up waiting too long, and then you get sniped and you get mad, and you rip the power cord out of your computer and you go to bed, and like we've all done it. So like,
yeah, I mean, my old computer didn't work as it is, so like I was ripping everything out of that during shows. So
it's true.
I am now making a Sen stack. God bless America, even though they're a Canadian team.
Pulled one of those off earlier today. That's another stack you can pull off, because you can get Kachuk, Stutzla, Batherson, Sanderson, all at fairly different times. So
I'm back and forth on Stutzla for fantasy, even though I have his signed jersey behind me. If he's playing 21 minutes, hell yeah. If he's playing 18, crap.
It's true. I do worry about Shane Pinto eating up some minutes. They do like that 3rd line. Might even be the 2nd line.
Loves a good DraftKings wager, but
or at least his buddy does.
Yeah.
Ooh. Hello, Mr. Genther.
I guess they said Blackwood's going to be ready for opening night, or he should be ready.
Yeah.
It's so funny because like he was not being drafted at all last year because he was the Sharks goalie. Like I had more Askarov than I did Blackwood last year, and now he's going in the 4th round. It's just like he's the same goalie. He's just on a much better team where wins are important. Man, how bad were the Avs goalies in the beginning of the season last year?
I mean, if they didn't make the moves that they did when they did, they might have honestly missed the playoffs.
They probably would have.
That's the thing.
Because they made those moves right when everyone got hurt, too. So, like, they were missing half their top 6, and Nathan McKinnon was playing like 27 minutes a night.
Actually, I want to go back and look at those game logs, because, like, I don't pick for a little while. That stretch of games in the middle of the season. All right. So from October 27th, we'll go to January 8th. So it's a 34-game stretch. He had an average 23.5 minutes a game.
Unbothered by everything. Let's get a little spicy. I don't have too much Kyrou.
Yeah, he's kind of like the one guy. Like I think I've had 1 or 2 St. Louis stacks just because I think Holloway's a pretty good value. I don't mind Robert Thomas, obviously. I think Parayko is like a fine defenseman. Have is your number 3, taken in the last couple rounds, like something like that. So I do have a couple St. Louis stacks. So I don't think I've gotten a Kyrou just because, like I said, like that winger 15 to winger 35 range. It feels like there really are a lot of similar players in that range. And unless you're going for a stack, like you don't really have to jump for anybody.
Yeah, usually that's when I'm taking goalies. I like to get goalie out of the way before like round 9 if I can. I'm not going to force myself to go get a goalie. Yeah. Like, I'm generally in the spot to draft one, so I'm just like, all right. Like, there's more Kyrous in the next few rounds I can get, but like, if he was with Thomas, it would be different. They're trying to make Pia Suter looks like the second line center, and that's fine. Like, Holloway, Suter, Kyrou will be a fine line. It's just like Thomas, Buchnevich, Kyrou is just like pure gasoline.
Yeah, it seems like they really do like Jimmy Snuggerud though, right? I think that's kind of the thing. And I'm wondering, like, because every year it happens where Jordan Kyrou goes through like a 4-week slump or something like that, and then I start seeing a ton of Blues fans on my timeline, like, it's time to trade Kyrou, it's time to et cetera, et cetera. I do wonder, like, if Kyrou starts slow and Snuggerud looks great through the first month or something like that, like, do they make a big trade? You know, like a Mikko Rantanen trade last year or something like that.
I don't know, because like Montgomery being there for the full season, I think makes a big difference because they fired. I don't even remember who their coach was, but they're like, "You see ya, Montgomery's available."
Yeah, exactly. Is it Drew Bannister?
You could be making that up, but I'd agree with you. I think it was.
No, it was Bruce Bannister. Yeah.
Bruce Banner? Yeah, okay.
Oh, Bruce Banner, of course. Bruce Bannister. All right, so we're making our way through. We're getting towards the end of round 6. Mac and Chuck went 67th.
I have none. I can't take him unless
me neither. But I was about to say I think that's the latest I've seen him go, because usually I see him go like pretty much in the 5th round between pick like 50 and 60, like pretty consistently.
I've accidentally joined a few slow drafts, and in the slow drafts, he's been going 80s or 90s.
Okay.
But in these fast drafts, when people just kind of freak out and they see the ADP, I think they just kind of snag him.
All right.
I've been drafting a lot of Alex Tuck lately.
Even if he starts the year on the second line, I don't care. As long as he gets top power play minutes, that's all I care about. And it looks like he's going to.
And he PKs, so like he plays heavy minutes.
Yeah. A ton of blocks. I think I have him projected for something like 108 blocks over 82 games. He had 113 in 82 games last year. It's a lot.
Yeah, a lot of auto drafters. Yeah, the auto drafters always get Mac Kachuk and fast. The slows you have all day to figure out something. If you miss your pick and slow, then you probably shouldn't be doing any drafts.
It's true. All right. I think this is the first time I'm taking Sam Montembeault.
Listen, in the 70s, it looks like, the 8th or 9th or 10th goalie off the board. That's about where he should be. I much rather Montembeault than Darcy Kemper, Aiden Hill. Like, Aiden Hill's going to get his wins.
Even like UC Saros. Like, I honestly don't see a huge difference between Montembeault and Saros this year. I really like. If Nashville's not considerably better than they were last year, like, how much better of a situation is Saros in than Montembeault, really?
Yeah. And, Luke Evangelista still has a contract dispute, so he's not with the team. I mean, they have Bunting, they have Marchessault, Stamkos, Yossi being healthy helps, but like after that, it's just a bunch of guys.
It is good to see Yossi healthy, and he went fairly late in this draft. Yeah, 43rd. I've seen him go in the third round a couple times over the last week.
Wow.
You know, once we got the news that he was back and he was healthy, and doesn't seem like there's anything holding him back. You know,
Noah Dobson will not be falling to me this draft.
Ooh, that's a spicy meatball.
It's easy, spicy meatball. Do I be a homer and take Adam Fox here? No, because I don't have a lot of this guy. I'm going to take him, and I like him. He's just like, I'll tell you why. I don't like Josh Morrissey because of the Winnipeg Jets Twitter handle. They pump him, like they should pump him anyway, but they call him Josh Morrissey, and for some reason that gets under my skin, and I have such a bad bias because of it. It drives me bonkers. I don't know why team accounts bother me. Vegas bothers me. They're the worst. It's like, just tweet out the players. I don't know who, like a sunset is.
Yeah, that you like get like 18 emojis or whatever. Yeah.
Like, why is Pablo Dorofeyev a sunset? Like, explain that to
me. So we don't really have like any big stacks forming just yet. I mean, I do have Thompson and Tuck, which is nice to have, but there's nothing else that's kind of fallen to me. You know what I mean?
People are making a big deal about Binnington losing his job. It's like, he's probably going to be the Team Canada starting goalie in the Olympics.
Like, if he didn't lose his job last year, I don't know why he would lose it this year. Like, do you know how bad he would have to be to not lose his job after the start? That, like, I think it's kind of easy to forget the start that Binnington had. What was it? His first 25 games, 895 save percentage, 8-13 record, 72 goals against in 25 games. Like, he was bad. And if he's like, and Joel Hofer was good. So like, if Binnington's going to be like well below league average and Hofer is going to have a good season and they still don't go to Hofer, like, Binnington would have to turn in like Alexander Georgiev in the first 6 weeks of last year. Like, he's giving up 5 goals a game. Like, that's legitimately what would have to happen.
Wow, Dylan Holloway off the board at 92. I guess I'm not getting – oh, that's right around his ADP. But there was a name I almost drafted instead of Nico Hischier there that I wish I did, actually. But I like Nico Hischier. I'll admit that as a Rangers fan. I like his game.
He's very steady, very underrated. Oh, man. Ehlers at 95th overall.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was going to take him instead of Hischier.
All day long.
Yeah. But I needed a center there, I think. Like, if he sticks on the top line, like, I don't think it's hyperbole to say that he could come close to 100 points if he's on the top power play.
Yeah, as long as they play him like 18 minutes. The thing is like, even if he's on the second line, if they stick with that Seth Jarvis as the second line center, whatever that they've been trying, even if it's something like, you know, Ehlers, Stankoven, and Jarvis on the second line, like, that's perfectly fine to me.
Frostback reaching for Verhaeghe. I see Jake has hit up your Venmo.
Zach Hyman, 96. That feels about right. You know what I mean? For a guy that he's gonna miss the first month of the season. But you still get him for 65 games plus, assuming he stays healthy. Right to the top line, right to the top power play unit.
Yeah, he came back from being hurt last year, and the power play just took off with him. So
you're drafting him as probably your third or fourth winger, so you're not building your team around him like you might be with Tkachuk. So still don't know what to make of Dostal. Like, don't get me wrong, I do think he's a really, really good goalie, but he feels like one of those goalies. Like, he's either going to finish like as a top 10 goalie or outside the top 30. Like, he's not going to finish like 19th or something like that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he's all there, all gone. All right, I got to shout out Moods here. I don't know the exact stat, but I took Nico Hischier last pick, and he was saying, I forget the exact stat, so forgive me, but he was saying that Nico Hischier, when Dougie Hamilton is healthy, those two go out together a lot of the time, similar to Monahan and Werenski. So that's why I'm taking Dougie Hamilton there. Shout out Moods. If you're wrong, I will find you. I will send you my old laptop.
Even if they're not, they're on the same power play unit, right? Yeah. So Adam Fantilli, there's a guy I was talking about today on social media. Like, my projection for him this year is 30 goals, 29 assists. I think last year he had 31 goals, 23 assists. So, handful more of assists, basically the same amount of goals. But like, if you look at his season, all his production, or most of his production, came with Monahan hurt. When he was playing 19, 20 minutes a game. And then like the last 10 games of the season, when everyone was healthy, he went on like this insane, like 40% shooting bender.
Yeah.
Which helped his goal total quite a bit. But like, if he's back down to like 16, 17 minutes a game, I'm not convinced he's guaranteed top power play minutes all year either.
Yeah.
Like Monahan, Marchenko, Johnson, Werenski, and then there's one more guy. I do think it's Fantilli to start, but I also don't think he's guaranteed to keep it all season.
And also, if he has that haircut like he has in the picture, I'm downgrading him 3 rounds. That is a ridiculous salad that I do not endorse.
It's okay. I mean, I didn't really see that.
Like, I don't like drafting Islanders because like Long Island is like, if Disney World is the best place on earth, Long Island is certainly the worst. But like Barzal, if he's healthy at 112, it doesn't even matter if he's with Horvat or not. Seems a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, I pulled off my second Islander stack today. The old Barzal, Horvat, Anders Lee in the last round. I do like Anders Lee. That guy puts up peripherals. He's getting top 6 plus top power play time. Now, how good the power play actually is, might not be very good, but it's better to have those minutes than to not have them at all.
Yeah. This is a bad, like, someone's going to get mad at this, but like, Anders Lee reminds me of Milan Lucic before he became completely washed. Like Bruins net front power play when they were winning Stanley Cups.
Okay.
Like that, just like can't skate for shit, but gets to the dirty areas and gets it done. Like that's what I was going for. Not that I just really want to take a jab at Milan Lucic and the Bruins, but like the Leafs, anytime I could take a stab at the Bruins.
Yeah, I was going to say, it felt like you wanted to take a jab at them pretty badly.
If you saw I keep my DMs open for that reason, but if you saw my DMs last October and November when we were just railroading the Bruins because they were bad and no one wanted to believe it, woo, Bruins fans were not happy with me.
Oh shit, I'm up. What was I doing?
Talking shit. That's what you were doing.
Panic. I didn't have anybody in my queue. Fuck it.
That's fine.
I will say, like, I do have Montour and McAvoy ahead of him, but like, I just took Cutter, so I don't feel too bad.
He had 4 secondary assists yesterday or some random shit. If he does that at all during the season, you're gravy.
It's true.
Tyler down so bad he can't get Cutter or Lacombe. He's going to go order a Little Caesar stuffed crust and cry into it. No crazy bread.
I don't think I've ever had a Little Caesar stuffed crust.
Me either.
I mean, I'm interested.
shameless plug. I made a stuffed pizza the other day on my pizza channel.
Yeah, I definitely had Domino's stuffed crust. Like Little Caesars, like it's Little Caesars one of those things, like I never go out of the way to buy it, but like if I'm walking around hammered at like 1 a.m. and there's a Little Caesars open, like I will absolutely go get it hot and ready. It's just one of those things, like if I'm getting a pizza, like I never think about it, like I'm just sitting down for supper or something. But don't hate hot and ready from Little Caesars after a few beers, that's for sure.
Yeah. $5, which is like 31 Canadian right now.
I was going to say, there's no way they're $5 in Canada.
It's like 31 Canadian. That kind of ruins the commercial. You know what I mean? You can't say $5 hot, like $31 hot and ready just doesn't vibe the same in Canada.
It's kind of funny how far Miro Heiskanen's fallen. It feels like he was going a lot higher than 130. I'd have to go back and check my other drafts, but feels like he was going a lot higher than like the 25th defenseman off the board like 2 weeks ago or something.
Yeah. I mean, that news came out that Harley's been on the top power play, and then the coach is like, whoa, let's pump the brakes. But it's like, you've talked about it a bunch. Like, he is a Norris candidate who isn't the best for fantasy.
Yeah, like Miro Heiskanen's easily a top 10 defenseman. And if somebody wants to say he's a top 5 defenseman, like I definitely wouldn't argue with it. It's just, I think Thomas Harley's just much better suited to run the power play. He's just a better playmaker. Like I do think Heiskanen's just tremendous two-way.
Down bad.
Would you lose?
Gabriel Velarde to go with my Morrissey.
Oh, that's a shame.
You hate to see it. Do I go with a 3-man Nashville wing power play stack? My God.
I mean, you can do whatever you want, man.
There are no rules according to Little Caesars. You just have to keep your shirt on.
Is that a commercial?
Yeah, this guy walks into Little Caesars with $5 hot and ready, and there's like a sign that says no rules. He's like, there's no rules. And he has no shirt on. They yell at him to put on his shirt on. He goes, there's one rule.
Okay.
It's like the only commercial I've seen in the past 7 years, and it's relevant to this conversation.
I don't even remember how we got on Little Caesars. Oh, we were talking about stuffed crust for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, Frostback is down bad because he took ducks, and I said he's going to cry until Little Caesars pizza.
That's exactly what that was. That's right.
I do appreciate him stepping up to Little Caesars instead of heating up 8-day-old chicken tenders from the restaurant he works at. So I was a little bit worried there for a while.
All right. What are we going to do here next? I feel like I think I know what we're going to do here next. So take Sean Monahan here. Let's hope we get 75 games out of him. He's an interesting guy. I think he was the 35th center taken off the board. I have him 29th. I've seen him most spots somewhere around 30 to 35. So like, even though it's like a round and a half quote ahead of his ADP, I think the value is just fine. It's just a matter of how many games he's actually going to play.
I mean, that line was a wagon when he was healthy.
Well, if we're in the 140s and I need a third goalie, we know where I'm going.
He's my top goalie besides Igor Shesterkin in terms of percentage. So I'm right there with you.
I got to tell you, though, I don't feel great having goalies from Montreal, Utah, and Columbus on my roster. Like, that feels like a lot of shots against, but hopefully we can get a couple playoff teams out of that. We'll see.
I mean, Utah should be good as long as their blue line stays healthy in terms of not allowing a ton of goals. Their penalty kill is still a bag of ass, but that's okay.
It's the truth. So what do we see? What do we see? What do we got? What do we see?
Oh boy, I'm just getting sniped left and right here. I can't take Dylan Cousins because I already have a Sun stack.
Man, just make it like an extra special Sun stack.
Should I just take Pia Suter for the vibes here?
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but you can do what you want.
Nah.
So Frostback takes Cousins anyway.
At least he took the decision out of my hands.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess, like, not a huge fan of Kochetkov. Like, Carolina goalies, like, they win so many games and all their goalies suck, like fantasy wise. But like, I guess as a third goalie, it's fine.
I did see, like, it looks like they're going to try to split starts between him and Anderson, but it's like, how healthy can Anderson possibly stay? You know what I mean? Like, I know Kochetkov's had his issues, but if you look at Anderson, over the last 3 years, Anderson's made 71 starts. That's like 1 year from Connor Hellebuyck. Like, you know, it's a shame because the guy's a pretty good goalie when he's actually healthy. He just can't stay healthy.
The nose going 156. I
wonder when Luke Hughes is going to decide to sign. Feels like every single day that goes by, he's just losing more and more ground to Dougie Hamilton's lock on the top power play role. Like, I think it's going to be Hamilton's regardless, but, you know, if you're not in camp, you're not even, you know, showing them that you have the ability to run it. So great for Dougie Hamilton drafters.
Rob Van Dam. Yeah, no, yeah. I don't have much of this guy, but I'm hoping like that power play should be decent as long as, you know, Kaprizov is healthy.
Man, just like, there are certain things that roll off your tongue that just feel bad, and one of them is, I really think this year is the Minnesota Wild are going to have good special teams. You know, it's just like, I've never seen anything like it. It's once in a while they'll have a decent power play. The penalty kill is perennially just terrible. And I looked the other day, I'm pretty sure they've been top 5 in the league by expected goals against at 5-on-5 for like 13 years in a row. It's like, it goes back to like the 2011 lockout or whatever. It's or 2012 lockout. It's crazy that they just can't put their special teams together. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, and they're in a weird spot with Kaprizov, and the Minnesota GM is the Team USA GM. And he's obviously a Muppet. Like, he is just not a great GM. But we don't have time for that. Like, I'll get fired up about it. We'll save that for when there's the Olympics coming up. It's all political. Maybe it's not even his hockey sense. It's all political. But, if Kaprizov gets traded, the Wild are going to stink.
Where should I go here? Where should I go here? I mean, let's round out that Duck stack.
Yeah, I mean, like, you could say whatever the hell you want about Q. You got to separate the art from the artist when it comes to, like, this kind of shit. And he is a good coach, so.
I mean, Carlson just looks so good over the final 6 weeks or 8 weeks of like basically after the Four Nations break. Like, he was so good. And the thing was, we were kind of waiting for it, right? Like, a lot of the tracking data, like, I look at tracking data from a website called All Three Zones. A lot of the tracking data from Carlson's rookie year, let alone last year's rookie year, was great. And a lot of the tracking data last year was great. And it seemed like it took until the final like 8 weeks of the season for everything to really come together for him.
He started playing more.
I mean, that too. Like if he's getting 19 minutes a game, 18, 19 minutes, like he could have a really, really good year. Like he's one of those guys, like I don't know like exactly how high the upside would be in a single season, but if we get to the end of the year and he's got like 29 goals and 36 assists or something like that, I would not be the least bit surprised.
Yeah. I mean, objectively, we all slammed the Ducks for taking him over Fantilli, but objectively, he's been better than Fantilli through 2 seasons.
So, I mean, like, what do you do there, right?
Yeah.
Then I like, don't get me wrong, I still do like Fantilli. I do think Fantilli's going to be like a longer term project. Like I think like this year, I think Karlsson has a pretty good chance to just straight up outproduce him on a points basis. But Fantilli, he puts up hits, he puts up pretty good shot volume. Like that makes a difference. That makes the difference in fantasy.
Yeah. Just got sniped from Marco Rossi.
You're down bad.
Now I'm gonna have to draft Josh Norris. Who took him? Frostback. No, it wasn't Frostback. Oh, if it was Frostback, I was about to send him to Narnia. It was not. It was Art Trell, 59, who already had Joel Eriksson Ek and Matt Boldy and Kirill Kaprizov. All right. I see you, dog. I see you.
All right. Rounding out towards the end. Coming up on the final round here.
No, he's not auto drafting. There's no way you auto draft 5 Wild.
Well, unless you set up your queue beforehand.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Wild isn't a bad stack either. If you can get Kaprizov in the first, there's pretty good values. You can get Kaprizov in the first. You can get Boldy in the second. You can get Eriksson Ek. He's a really good value. You can get him in like the 6th, 7th, 8th round, depending on your draft. You can get Zeev very late. Gustafsson, you could probably get in like the 4th or 5th round. Like there is a pretty good Minnesota Wild stack to make as well. It's just if everybody gets hurt like they did last year, like you're cooked.
Yeah, and Zook's out for a while. So, I mean, that helps Rossi, Zuccarello being out. Man, I am so tilted right now. I almost drafted P.S. Suter. I will not be doing that, but what my next pick is equally as just idiotic, but it's okay. Not every team could be elite winners. I am hitching my wagon to the Predators.
I mean, I don't mind a Pred stack this year, honestly. Like, I think Forsberg is a fine value where he's going. I think Yossi's a pretty good value. I think Stamkos and Marchessault are both good, not great values. Saros is the one guy I'm worried about. Like, I really don't know if he's going to be a top 10 goalie, and he's still pretty consistently going somewhere around like the 8th to 12th goalie. Like, that's...
Yeah, if it was DraftKings scoring, it would be fine. But, like, where the win is so necessary, the Preds suck.
Yeah. God, I do think they're going to be better this year, but, like, is it, like, 79 points better? You know what I mean? Like, get to 79 points maybe, or 81 points or something.
I thought you were saying 79 more points, and they still wouldn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, you're going to be better than the 96, 97 Red Wings.
Four-man Pred stack. John Klingberg off the board.
Didn't he get hurt today? I think so.
Hasn't he been hurt since 2012?
I'm pretty sure he got hurt, but they said it wasn't related to his hips. So.
Oh, Anders Lee. I should have taken Anders Lee because I have Barzal. I'm such an idiot.
Well, as long as he doesn't go here, I got a Josh Harris special coming on deck.
Yes.
Ken Johnson. Round out the old Monahan Johnson Werenski stack.
He's fine at 191, but like he had 3 hits last year.
Yeah, the thing is, and he shot 19.5%.
Yeah.
He needs to play 18 minutes. I do think he can have like a 25 goal, 60-point season, and that's fine in the 16th round. All right. Well, I'll just go through my team really quickly first. Austin Matthews in the first round ended up with a 2-man Buffalo stack with Tage Thompson, and Alex Tuck also ended up with a 2-man Carolina stack with Seth Jarvis and Nikolai Ehlers. Ended up with a 3-man Anaheim stack, Cutter Gauthier, Leo Carlson. I overdrafted on Jackson Lacombe because I was panicking and didn't have a queue. That was my mistake. Ended up with, that Columbus stack, Monahan, Kent Johnson, Zach Werenski. Don't love my goalies. I think Montembeault and Vejmelka are fine, but it feels like one of those things, like I wouldn't be surprised if they both hit a slump at the same time. You know what I mean? Like both guys are just shitty for like a month, just because of the teams that they're on. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I don't mind my team, actually. Like I said, I do think I overdrafted a bit on Jackson Lacombe. Everybody else is like pretty fair value to me, so not a whole lot to argue about. What do you got cooking up here?
Oh, we are cooking. I started with Brady Tkachuk at 9. I paired him with Timmy Stützle. I guess you could say I paired him with Ullmark as well. I don't really consider that correlation, but they are on the same team. So for the sake of that, that's fine. I have a 2-man Devils stack, Nico Hischier, Dougie Hamilton. I have a 4-man Predator. Woo! That's hard to get out. 4-man Predator stack with Forsberg, Stamkos, Marchessault, and O'Reilly. Holy fuck. Then I have one-offs of Kyrou, Barzal, Josh Norris. Holy shit. We are hanging this bad boy in the
back half of that draft. Yeah. The Stamkos, Marchessault, Zeev, Norris, O'Reilly. Holy, that's quite the stretch.
But I have Igor, Ullmark, and Kochetkov. As long as Ullmark can stay healthy, if you talk to our Sens buddy, Quick Party, he will say that he won't. But if he does, he should be very good because the Sens are a very good defensive team. But this is the kind of crap that will advance to the finals and then get nuked because, like, everyone on the Preds will be hurt. But this is just an awful team that will somehow make it through.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the squad because the thing with the Nashville stack, like, you're not taking anybody. Like Stamkos last year went in like the 3rd or 4th round, right? Taking him pick 129 towards the end of the 11th round, like that's a bit of a difference. So honestly, I do have Nashville as like I was saying earlier, it's a very viable stack this year, just because Forsberg in the late 1st, early 2nd, Yossi in the 3rd or 4th, and then everybody else so much later. Like I do think it's fine, but another draft down. We got one more to go next Tuesday night. September 30th. It's going to be our last one because then October 7th, 1 week after that, is when the NHL season starts. So we got one more best ball to get through. I think that was the 11th team I'm going to draft. You drafted way more than I have. I'm probably going to get it probably to around 20 teams when it's all said and done. Don't know how many you're doing. You're not maxing it, are you?
I'm going to try. I'm at 56, so I have a lot of drafting to do.
You got 100 drafts in 2 weeks?
Listen.
You're cranking out like 7 drafts a day for 2 weeks.
Listen, I'm at home with psycho children all day long. I need to just draft teams, lock myself in the bathroom, let Spencer and Bacon run the house, and I'll just draft some teams.
Fair enough. I like that plan.
Yeah. We're in mid-season form. That's good to see. My internet, 3 for 3. I feel so good about it. We're in 1080p. You can see it's just, how many stacks is a good target? I mean, that's a good question. And it's a good time to plug Moods. He has a lot of data on that on his manifesto, he calls it. Dexter also had a manifesto, and we saw how that turned out for him, but he calls it a manifesto. I try to at least get one decent 3-man stack and maybe come back with a 2-man stack at the minimum. I think you can, I have some really high correlated teams where I have 3-man stacks and a 2-man stack or something like that. But that was just lucky. I'm not reaching just to stack. So like if there's guys I like at ADP that don't really go with my stacking vibes, that's fine. If there's guys that are right in that ADP range that go with my stack, that's great. As Cliffy puts Moods' manifesto in there, it is really good data there. If I could read, but yeah. What are your thoughts on stacking?
Yeah, I don't do more than 4 players. I also consider a goalie a part of a stack. I know it's traditionally not considered part of the stack, but if your players are scoring goals, your goalie's going to get wins, and goalie wins in this format are very important. So even if you do like a center, a defenseman, and a goalie, I think that like that's perfectly fine. I think Moods talked like a 3-man stack is perfectly fine. Like 4 is acceptable, but it's extremely high risk. It's one of those like it's either going to push you into the top 2 or you're finishing 9th. Like you're not going to finish 4th or 5th. Which I mean, in this kind of format, like maybe you do want that. Yeah, I'm also like you. Like I'm not chasing stacks. The thing is like the stacks that I do end up with, it's mainly because I think they're all good values. So like if you look at my exposures, you'll see the same like 8 to 10 teams being stacked, 2, 3, or 4 of them will be stacked, every single time that I do a draft. Like I think the Montreal Canadiens, and I'm a huge Canadiens fan, you can tell by the hat, I think they're one of the worst stacks in best ball this year. And I don't have a single forward drafted on 11 teams. And I think I have 1 or 2 Montembeault and 1 Noah Dobson, and that's it. Like they're just not somebody that I'm targeting. It's the same thing. And there are teams you can't really stack, like with the Edmonton Oilers, because or Colorado, like McKinnon and McCarr go in the first round. I saw McDavid go in the first round. Like you can stack them, but you're missing a really, really key piece of the stack. So like there are just teams where I think there are bad values or that you can't stack them, and I just basically cross them out. And then once I get down to like the final 20 or 22 teams, then I pick like a dozen of them. And I'll just focus on those teams because they keep falling to me over and over. Like Carolina is a perfect example. I think Nikolai Ehlers and Andrei Svechnikov are 2 of the most undervalued players in best ball this year. They are like 2 of my 6 best value skaters overall. So I have a ton of Carolina stacks because Jarvis is fine. Sebastian Aho is fine. Like they're not great values, but they're fine. But Ehlers and Svechnikov are tremendous values, and that makes the stack eminently stackable because you don't have to get all 4. You can get 3 of the 4, even if it's just 2 of the 4 or something like that. So that's kind of the way that I approach it, is like I have it whittled down to like a dozen teams that I'll just stack over and over and over. Just because there are teams that you can't stack, or I just think are just terrible values, and I'm just not even bothering with them.
Yeah, and that's why I'm making fun of myself for the 4 Preds, but I took Stamkos in the 11th, I took Marchessault in the 12th, and I took O'Reilly in the 16th. You know what I mean? I took Forsberg in the 2nd round. But
if you look at my teams, I guarantee every single one of them has an Anaheim, San Jose, or New York Islander stack on them, and it's because you can get 3-man stacks all in the 10th round or later.
It was just like the Blue Jackets last year. You could get Werenski in the 10th. You get Marchenko in like the 14th.
Yeah. So, we weren't even drafting Sean Monahan. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, yeah. So like, I think like 2 to 4 man, I include the goalie in the stack as long as there's at least 2 skaters. And then I would just whittle it down to the teams that you're targeting and just kind of ignore the ones that you think are bad values.
Yeah, I mean, the Habs are just hard to stack because you're going to have to take Caulfield in the third and Suzuki in the fourth to do
right.
it.
And I think Lane Hudson is honestly one of the most overdrafted players in best ball this year. Like I would never take him with a top 100 pick, and you have to take him with a top 100 pick. So I just
and Demidov going in the 80s is just baffling.
Yeah, like I was telling you before the show, there's a draft earlier today. Ivan Demidov went before Nikolai Ehlers. Like, unless you're pretty convinced that Ehlers is only going to play like 55 games, there's absolutely no reason for that to happen. Like, there's just no upside to it. I mean, I shouldn't say no because it's not absolute, but there's very little upside to it. So, like, again, 2 to 4 man stacks, include goalies, focus on about a half dozen teams, and read Moods' article because he has a lot more data than we do.
Yeah, he just sits up all night looking at like minor league hockey stats. He's an Alex Bump enthusiast, so he is much more suited for these later rounds and all that, like this strategy and stuff. I just vibe, but as you could see by this team. But yeah, 2 more for the next one going off. I probably should join it if I want to get to 150, but I have things to do. But I will be drafting all day tomorrow, and by that I mean we'll probably get 2 teams in because that's how long it takes. But we will be back next Tuesday for our finale of Best Puck, which means the regular season is just around the corner. We will definitely let you know when the NHL packages go live on Stokastic. We'll have our affiliate link and all that good stuff. In terms of, I saw a few questions in the chat. I'll just, mention it real quick. It will be very similar to last season, where depending on how many games and the contest, we will be here as often as possible. Health as well as, I have kids in school. If anyone has kids in school, the winters absolutely fucking suck. But we will be here as much as possible. Affiliate link has been in there throughout the show. I am excited for the regular season DFS. They've actually been running a bunch of satellites for that Spinorama on the 14th of October. But this is crazy, including Twitter and YouTube. There's still 264 of you watching over an hour into a Best Puck stream. I would say get a life, but here we are talking about it. And I'm just kidding because we love every single one of you, but we will be back next Tuesday to draft another atrocious team, I'm sure, and we'll get ready for DFS. So we'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next week. Thanks a lot, everybody.